Well, it's martini time. I feel good today. I gave myself 2 olives. So, yes. Let's talk about anxiety. I entitled this talk, The Liberation in Anxiety. What? Now, if there's one thing that we've got plenty of, it's anxiety. America is an anxious country. Anxiety. Fox News delivers news on a platter of anxiety. Everywhere, anxiety. Oh no, something bad, something's going to happen. What is it? Anxiousness. Anxious, you see. And of course, we try to find the escape from anxiety by finding out what's causing it. Somebody's causing it, something. What is it? The liberals, the conservatives, Trump, somebody, you see. What is it, you see? But let's not look at it that way. The problem with, okay, well, hope I won't be jumping around here. I've been discussing, and hopefully you've been listening, to an understanding of the symbols of transcendence. Now, last night I talked about the, where is it? This little, this says you are invited, but this was left on my door, or given to me by a nice lady, and I was invited to this place where I'd be free from anxiety. See, this fellow's got anxiety. And you're invited to this happy place where you won't have any anxiety. Come on in, you see. But there's no symbols of transcendence here. The walls, this could be a moose lodge. I mean, it could be a Rotary. It could be the Chamber of Commerce. You see, that's what it is. It's the Chamber of Commerce. Join the Chamber of Commerce, and you'll be relieved of your anxiety. So, anyway. What are the symbols of transcendence? Well, I've been talking about, Kuan Yin and Buddha and Shiva, and all of these are symbols of transcendence, but from different cultures. So they don't really help us in this culture because it's somebody else's culture. It's their symbols. So we get, I don't get it, we just don't, it doesn't hit our heart, you see. So what is our culture? Well, this is our culture, whether you're Protestant or Catholic. This is a symbol of transcendence. So what is anxiety? Well, in this, can't see it on here, but it should be right here, is a wound. The wound in the side of Jesus, and it bleeds. It looks like a vagina. It bleeds. And the Holy Grail catches the cup. Catches the blood. And the evangelicals say you'll be liberated by the blood of Jesus. Drink the blood of Jesus, you see. Here. Drink the blood of Jesus. Good. Drink the blood of death. What does that mean? What are we talking about here? This is all symbolic language, you see. And we get all hung up when we start trying to read symbolic language literally, which is what fundamentalism does. So what is the wound of Jesus in the side of Jesus, you see? This is not a historical thing. This is not, some Roman soldier stabbed him with a lance. That's a historical fact. Who cares? There's no liberation in that. It's just information. Whether it happened or not, who cares? It doesn't mean anything. Except in the literal story of Jesus, which is not transcendent, but we're interested in the transcendent story of Jesus, this transcendent meaning. So what is this wound? Well, the wound is anxiety. Jesus doesn't have a wound. I mean, he doesn't feel it. You see, you feel it. So what does it feel like? It's anxiety. It won't heal, no matter what I do, no matter how much yoga, meditation, Eckhart Tolle, church, belief, pray to Jesus, whatever, prayer, Nothing relieves, nothing heals the wound. Nothing heals. This is called the wound that won't heal. In the Arthurian romances, in the quest for the Holy Grail, the Fisher King was wounded in his side, and it would not heal. And only the Grail Knight could heal this wound. The Fisher King kept the Holy Grail. And only the Grail Knight, the knight with the pure heart, could heal this wound and receive the Grail. And then you remember Indiana Jones, Search for the Holy Grail in the Last Crusade. I love that movie, you see. Anyway, what is the wound in the side of Jesus? But at the wound in my side, it's anxiety. Now, the problem with anxiety is that in human consciousness, which is where we live, who we are, we're human because we're conscious. And the special thing about human consciousness is that it is self-reflective. It's like an evolutionary leap in consciousness that went one step past animals. So we developed self-reflective consciousness, which means I'm aware of myself. So as something, so if I'm aware, if I feel anxiety, I'm aware that I've got this thing called anxiety. I'm aware that I've got the anxiety and I don't like it. It's self-reflective. I've divided myself into an awareness, an observer, and the observed, and I'm observing this anxiety and I want to get rid of it. But I'm divided. So what happens when we have something we can't get rid of? It creates a self-generating tape-back loop. So I'm aware, and I don't like anxiety. I'm anxious. I don't like I'm aware that I'm anxious. Ooh. And then I'm aware that I'm aware that I'm anxious. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then I'm aware that I'm aware that I'm aware that I'm anxious. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then I'm aware that I'm aware that I'm aware that I'm anxious. And then I'm in a tape-back loop. I'm in a whirlpool of a vortex. I'm having a panic attack. Immediately. It's like when you stick a microphone up in an amplifier. Whoa, 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 whoa. You see, that's a panic attack of anxiety. It's a self-generating death wish. It's a self-generating negation. I am negating myself, like the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. I'm erasing myself until only my little smile remains. And then, whoop, that's gone. That's the fear, that I'm erasing myself. My own consciousness is erasing myself. Whoa, 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 whoa. And so then we grab onto a therapist or a priest or Jesus or something, or drugs or alcohol or a martini to stop the feedback loop. Because we can't tolerate it. We can't tolerate, it's worse, we'd shoot ourselves. That's why people shoot themselves. They can't stop the feedback loop. Death is better than not being. You see, it's not like death. It's like I'm going to be aware of being nothing. You see, that's the terror. I'm going to be like in a coffin for eternity, aware that I'm in a coffin. I'll be aware that I'm dead for an eternity. I'll be aware of not being. There's no worse terror than being conscious of not existing. Think of that. Being conscious of not existing. That's the horror of human consciousness. And we're all walking on that ice. At any minute, we can fall through. Our human consciousness is that fragile, you see. So this anxiety, when we get it, it may be a little anxiety, but it portends of the greater. It's a slippery slope to falling through the ice and to not existing, which is worse than death. That's why people kill themselves. That's why you get self-destructive. That's why you get a mass shooter. That's why you get these self-destructive orgies, or the fury of self-destruction in a war where two sides clash together in bloodlust and just kill. Anything to end the feedback loop of the microphone and the amplifier. Wow, you see. Because it's self-generating. It's the snake that eats its own tail. You see? When you eat yourself in anxiety, you are generating more anxiety. And the mind and the thinking tries to heal it. The thinking is the first responder. It comes running in, and we have a monologue going on in our mind. I should have done it, I didn't do it, why didn't I do it, yada, 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 yada. I can't stop, I can't sleep, I got the insomnia. You see, this is very common. So, what is the wound of Jesus now? Okay, so in the wisdom teachings, I spend a lot of time writing on the Eckhart Tolle study group sites, and I've been writing on quotes of Eckhart Tolle since 2005. But I just resonate with Eckhart Tolle's teachings because his teaching is the universal teaching. J. Krishnamurti, all of the wisdom teachings, Zen, Buddhism, all of that, the non-dual wisdom teachings, starts from a different perspective, a different view. It starts from the view that you are one. And I love this. This was a Krishnamurti phrase. You are the world and the world is you. And when I start this talk, I usually say, Blackstone is the center of the world, but then you too are at the center of the world, which means you are the world and the world is you. You are one world, not two. But anxiety says, I'm two and I can't find the one. Anxiety says, I'm wounded, I'm divided into two contradictory halves. I'm divided into two separate, exclusive me's that are mutually dependent. So I can't leave unless I'm schizophrenic, or unless I create an alternative personality. So I have two personalities and I flip back and forth. That's one way to solve it. Psychosis is another way. Psychosis is kind of like where the feedback loop is going. No self, no center, you see. So the anxiety kind of like says you're going to go into psychosis. All right. So what's the liberation in anxiety? Well, getting back to the transcendent symbolism, the symbolism or the meaning of the triumphant Christ is that he goes to the cross willingly. He chooses it. Now, if you have anxiety, and you've come to the point where you can't get out of it, and you've come to the point you've tried all the strategies that are offered and all the things that people try to sell you to get out of anxiety. Of course, the main thing is they sell you some pills, but that doesn't get rid of the anxiety. It just manages it, you see. But we're not interested in managing it. We're interested in the Four Noble Truths of Buddha. And the Buddha's truth is that there is anxiety. Human consciousness is anxiety or suffering or division. Human consciousness has a wound. Human consciousness has a wound. And the wound is I and you. I in the world. That's two. But the one is I am the world and the world is me. So that oneness is prior to the two. But our culture has erased that oneness, you see. And so there's just two. That's all we see. That's on the map. That's your choice. There's two. No matter what you do in our culture, Western culture, materialism, it's two. Because everything is a thing. So everything is many. There is no one. You can't find it. Yet the astronauts go to heaven where the one used to be. They can't find it. If you go within, you still find two. No matter where you go. It's two. You are looking for the one. That's two. You're seeking The resolution of anxiety, that's 2, you see. So the 1 is prior to that. So how do you get to the 1? Well, take the meaning of the transcendent symbol of Christ, you see. And don't forget about Buddha and Kuan Yin and all the rest, because that's another culture. Forget about, see the guru up there, forget about the guru and all that. Go to what's traditional. Go to what makes you feel at home. But you have to read it, which is Christianity, but you have to read it from an Eastern viewpoint. You have to read it from the oneness instead of the 2. So it will activate the power of oneness in you. So how do you use anxiety for liberation? Well, anxiety, the wound, when you reach a place in your suffering where you realize that you really can't get out of it, you're in a Groundhog Day. You are just repeating yourself over and over and over, looking for a different outcome. It's kind of like looking for your car keys in the house, and you keep looking under the same magazine, hoping maybe that this time the car keys will magically appear, that you missed them before. We've all done that. That's what anxiety does. It creates a loop. So when you see the loop and you realize that there is no escape, well then there's the possibility, there is the portal where you accept it. And you say, okay, I willingly choose my anxiety. I accept it. I accept the wound. I accept the cross. I choose it. I choose the cross. Bam! You're resurrected. That's the portal. That's the secret door. That's all in the mythology and fairy tales and movies. That's the hidden door that only a few open. The secret garden. The secret door. The hidden portal. The cave with the treasure. The waterfall you have to go through. It's all there in the myths. It's all there in the movies. And only the hero goes through. The hero, instead of running from the dragon, turns to the dragon, and the dragon gives him his treasure. The treasure is given to those who turn and face what they're running from. So if you're running from anxiety, try something different. But then again, you can't try it in order to get out of it. That's just more, I got another strategy. I'll accept anxiety and that will defeat anxiety. No, that's just another game. That's just another gimmick, another plot, another strategy of the 2, trying to get out of the 2. So you can't even do that. So there's nothing you can do. You can't, this is Zen. You can't swallow it and you can't cough it up. It's a hairball. You can't swallow it. You can't swallow the anxiety. You can't cough it up. So when you get to that point, you see, you have to go through the last strategies. You have to go through the last thing you're clinging to. The last rung on the subway, the last rock that you're clinging to over the abyss, the last rope you're hanging on to, the last twig you're holding on to. When you let go of that, you see, the wound heals, because the wound is created by separation. And the separation is you trying to heal the wound. I'm here, I got a wound, I don't like it, I got to heal it. Who's going to heal it? And the problem with Christianity is it says, well, Jesus will heal it, but he won't heal it because you're the wound. You got to do it. There is no Band-Aid. There's no strategy. It's psychological. So that's the liberation in anxiety. Thanks for dropping in. I'll see you tomorrow.